Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Kenco Fishing's Color Profiles. On today's color profile, we actually have a comparison. So we're going to look at the 3 LureWorks Chartreuses. 3 of the 4. They do make a 4th one, but it's a dye. And so we don't use that one. Or we don't use it in the shop, so I don't even have any of it. So what we got is Chartreuse 181. This is a slight bleed. You can see in the cup here, we got a little bit of a light yellow. Now, the concentration we're using today is 0.005, so 0.5%. And if you haven't seen the video on how to weigh colors, you want to take a look back at that one. So here we've got the Chartreuse 108. You can see in the cup there, a little darker yellow. And Chartreuse 126, all from LureWorks. And you can see in the cup there, we got a little bit of stuff on top that hasn't mixed in well yet. That happens sometimes when you're cold mixing, but it's not a big deal. Once we get that up to temp and it reaches the catalyst stage, it'll go right past that. It's no big deal. So we also got some Baileys and some Starbucks this morning, so that's real good. I had to go in and get my daughter, so I was able to get some Starbucks, come home, splash the Baileys in it, and now we're good to go. So we got all this all set up. We're going to go ahead and I'll cook these up and we'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so we're almost ready. We got one last thing here to cook up. It's timing off right now, and then I'm going to go through, we'll show you what we got, and then we'll get them shot and look at them at the end. Alright, so we've got our LureWorks, all brands are LureWorks, Chartreuse 181. Transparent. We wipe this off. This is meant to be a transparent, vibrant yellow. Now you can see you can almost see right straight through the glass. So when we stir that up and we put that on the spoon or on the stir rod, you almost can't see the yellow at all unless we turn it. It's very clear and it has a nice yellow hue to it, almost like it's a light. It's really bright. Then we got our 108, 108. You can see here that on our stirring rod that we have some yellow, still some transparency, but a much deeper yellow. Okay. And then we come down to our 126, and you can see that we got a lot of transparency still, but definitely it's a little bit more opaque than the last two. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get these shot and see how they look after they're all done. So I'm just going to pop this in for a few seconds to warm it up. Alright, so there was our first color. We'll give that a second to cure up. We'll pop it out. We'll shoot the next one, which will be our medium or our semi-opaque. Now remember, we're using 0.5% here as a guide for all 3 of these. You can go up, you can go down, I mean, you can go all over the place. So if you really want to add some colorant to it, you can make it super opaque, you know, almost you won't be able to see through it at all, but that's up to you. All right, so let's go ahead and pop these out, take a quick peek at them. All right, so you can see our transparent chartreuse is very light, very see-through. But it also has a very good chartreuse hue in it. So that's kind of what we're really looking for, and we'll show that under the light in a little bit. Alright, so let's not make a fool of myself here again. Let's clean the injector out. Alright. That one's gonna have a little air in it, but it's all right. So one thing I want to show you here, and I made this mistake a little while ago, so I just want to show it to you because, you know, as a bait maker, we all go through struggles and we all mess things up once in a while. So I want to show you here. This is the two transparent chartreuse colors. You can see this one here has a red tint, and this one has no red tint. Now the reason that is because this one here, I scorched that a little bit. I overcooked it just a tiny bit, and it started to brown and redden on me. This one I did not, and you can see it's nice and clear and yellow. So that's one thing you got to watch for, especially with these lighter colors, is that you don't scorch them. And you know, take time is kind of the key to that. Take your time and go slow. Because I was trying to rush it while I was off camera and trying to get things ready, and I ended up scorching a batch. So, I mean, it's still good. I could still shoot it and use it, but it doesn't, you know, there's no sense. Now I'm just going to throw it out. So the key is take your time, go slow when you're working with this stuff, and especially your sensitive colors. Some colors are really sensitive and some aren't. Some will scorch faster. Now I know that doesn't necessarily have to do with the color, more so than the plastisol, but some colors will change colors faster than others under heat. And you can see there we got a nice vibrant yellow, but it's semi-transparent. All right, so here we are. We've got all of our stuff cooked up and shot. So let's go ahead and take a quick look, and then we'll get them under some light. So here we got our transparent chartreuse. You can see it's pretty clear, pretty transparent, obviously. But it does have that nice yellow hue that we've all come to love. Now, you can darken this up simply by adding more. It'll still maintain its transparency. It'll just be a more vibrant, clear yellow. Here we got our semi-opaque. You can see on the tails, we still have that semi-opaqueness. You can see through them, but as you get into the bait, it becomes less transparent. Still a nice, bright, vibrant yellow. Here we've got our not transparent, but you can see even at this concentration and in thinner portions of the tail, you can still have some transparency. Now again, you can add more colorant to this and really make it more opaque, but that's the color you're going to come out with. It's still a really vibrant yellow. And, you know, there's not a lot of difference between these two, but if you up the concentrations, you'll be able to see it some. So let's go ahead, we'll get them under some light, and we'll take a look at them close up. All right, so here we are. We've got our transparent. You can see how those are really vibrant. And if you add more to that, that will just become even a more clear, vibrant yellow. Here we've got our semi-opaque, and you can see that you got some transparency down here in the tail, similar to what you have over here. But you do get that opaque fill when you get towards the middle. Now over here we got our opaque. So you lose that kind of clear transparency, but you do get a nice, vibrant yellow here. And that's one of the ones I like to do tails with. I also love doing tails with this color. But in any of these cases, you're really not going to go wrong. You can really make some pretty vibrant tails. So, or even baits for that matter. So that's kind of the Chartreuse profile from LureWorks, like I said, they do have one other dye that bleeds, and we don't use that, or at least we don't use it much, so we don't even have any. Hey everyone, so that was our Chartreuse comparison from LureWorks. You've been able to see the 3 of the 4 colors that LureWorks provides. Like I said, the 4th one is a dye. Maybe we'll get that in and take a look at it, but it's a bleeding dye, so we don't really use a lot of it because it bleeds onto everything else. So that's what we have. And remember that the first dye that we used is a semi-bleed, so it will bleed a little bit. So that's that. That's LureWorks Chartreuse. We hope you'll join us for another episode. We had a lot of fun with that one. Come back and join us, subscribe, check us out on Facebook at www.facebook.com/KencoFishing/. And we'll hope to see you there.